Aaliyah Boston's offseason revelation reshapes Indiana Fever's 2025 outlook.
All right, well, Aliyah Boston, thank you so much for making the long trek to WTHR here, downtown Indianapolis, going into year 3 for you here in the WNBA. Kind of crazy. Is that crazy?
It's kind of crazy to think how fast time is going. I was actually just saying that, like, I can't believe this is my 3rd year.
Yeah. Well, how was the offseason for you? There's a lot going on with the team, a lot going on with the WNBA, women's sports in general. How was the offseason for you?
Offseason was great. I was able to participate on Rivals, so I was super excited about that, and kind of just looking at our team in general, all the changes we've made. It has been a lot. It's been super fast, but I think they've all just been super exciting moves for us, and I'm excited to get the season started because I think we have so much talent.
Yeah, you mentioned it right there. It felt like there was 1 week, maybe a month, maybe more ago, that it was just like bang, bang, bang. Someone else new coming to the team via trade, via free agency. All really valuable pieces. Winning experience with those additions as well. What do you make of the newcomers on this team and how everyone will gel together after such a promising year last year for you guys?
I think when you look at who we brought in and who is still here, I think what really helps us and excites us the most is that we win. We win a lot. Coming from winning programs just in general, and being able to put this together, I think it's going to be super exciting. Like every time we get on the court and we're practicing or if we're playing pickup, we're like, I can't wait to get the season started. Like we are going to just play so well, and I think just being able to have so many different options on the floor, anyone coming off the bench, just being ready to be that heavy hitter and make an impact.
Yeah, deep team, right?
Yes.
Too, it feels like no lineup, there's no drop off with you guys.
Exactly.
So also part of the newness of this season, and it feels like it's kind of hitting a crescendo, right, as we are only a month away. But head coach Stephanie White, new to town, not really new to town, new maybe for you, but what has that relationship been like in kind of the Stephanie White regime here going forward?
It's been great. I think Steph has just done a great job ever since she got the job of just communicating. I remember within the first few weeks that she had the job, we were watching film about how she wanted me to be able to play, what she thinks of the team, what she wants our goal to be once the season starts, where we want to end. And I think for me that's super important because even though it feels like I've been in the league for quite some time, this is only my 3rd year, and being able to learn from a coach that you've been able to see, especially being able to play against her and seeing the way that she coaches, the way that she makes adjustments, is super exciting for me because I feel like, listen, we're on this side now. We know exactly what's to come with her, and I think that's the most exciting part.
Yo, that right there is a huge point that just can't be ignored. So let's talk about Coach Stephanie White real quick, because this right here, this is new info, and it's big. Now look, I've said it in past videos, just like a lot of y'all, I was wondering, where's Aaliyah Boston been? I mean, I was legit confused. I even asked you guys in the comments, and some of y'all hit me back like, oh, she's doing some broadcasting stuff. Okay, cool, I respect that. But here's what stood out to me recently. I saw a clip, side angle, and let me just say this. Aaliyah Boston looks in shape. She's looking lean, strong, like she's been putting in work behind the scenes. That's already a good sign. But here's where the light bulb went off for me. Coach Stephanie White and Aaliyah Boston have already been watching film together. They're already going over how this offense is going to run, what the structure is going to look like, and most importantly, what Aaliyah's role is going to be in all of it. Now that's next level preparation. That's leadership. That's exactly what you want from a coach. And it lines up with what we heard before. Coach White saying this team is going to be built around the big 3, Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aliyah Boston. But for me, this was news. I didn't know they were already sitting down like that. And if Aaliyah's been in that film room with Coach White, you already know Caitlin Clark has too. No doubt in my mind. They're laying the foundation early, and that's a big deal. This tells me one thing. They had a clear vision before they made any offseason moves. They probably sat down and mapped out exactly how they wanted this offense to flow, what kind of pieces needed to be added, and how to fit it all around their core. And here's another underrated detail. Aaliyah Boston has played against Coach Stephanie White, and Coach White has coached against her. That means there's already familiarity there. They know each other's styles, their tendencies, what works and what doesn't. So now Coach White comes in with a playbook that says, I know what Caitlin does best. I know how Aaliyah operates. I know how to blend it all together with Kelsey. That's huge. That's the kind of chemistry you want to see being built before the season even kicks off. I had to pause and speak on this, because honestly, I didn't know this was already happening. But now that I do, My expectations for this Fever squad just went up. Big time.
Right, you talked about going against her in the probably most important series of your career,
Yep.
right, in the first round last season. What did you take away from going up against her? That maybe you're like, oh great, she's on my side now and we can use this to our advantage.
Yeah, when we played against Connecticut, Steph, her adjustments, the way she started off the game, I remember there were times where we were playing, I was like, did they mean to do this? And then you come back again the second possession and they really did mean to do that. And it's something that we didn't think about, and coming in, it's like, okay, well, now we have to adjust. When for her, it's like, we've already played you guys 3-4 times, now we're going to the playoffs, and they still bring something new to the table. So to be on that side, it's super exciting because I think, once again, we have so much talent on our squad. We're going to be going up against all these teams that in the offseason also made adjustments, also have just great, talented, flat-out hoopers. So it's like, okay, now we come out, we have to be ready to compete, but we also know that, listen, if things aren't going our way, then we have a coach at the helm who knows how to adjust.
Right.
That's big time, y'all. And look, Aliyah Boston isn't out here throwing shots at Christie's sides. She's not being messy, but she is letting it be known loud and clear, this is what we want in a coach. She brought up how Coach Stephanie White and the Connecticut Sun handled business in the playoffs. And it's true. That's what you want, a coach who can make real-time adjustments. They had already played Indiana 4 times during the regular season. They knew the Fever's tendencies. But when the playoffs came, they flipped the script completely. They threw aggressive looks at Caitlin Clark. They put DeWanna Bonner on her. Y'all remember that? I remember it like it was yesterday. DB stepping up past the three-point line, using that length and experience to disrupt Caitlin's rhythm. And guess what? It worked. It slowed Caitlin down. It rattled the Fever offense. That's the kind of defensive switch-up that changes a series. Connecticut didn't win because their offense was doing anything revolutionary. It wasn't about dropping 100 points. It was about defensive presence. They put pressure on the Fever. They made them uncomfortable. And from there, their own offense just flowed naturally. That's what I expect to see from the Fever this season under Coach White. That same mindset. Turn it on, clamp down, get stops, and then let the offense come. It's a mentality. And Coach White's got it. Now, let's not forget, Connecticut had dogs out there. Alyssa Thomas, absolute enforcer. Dejanai Carrington doing her thing. Marina Mabrey? She torched the Fever in that first game. Y'all remember that? Oh my goodness, Marina was on fire. And DB? She played with poise, locked in defensively, just doing what needed to be done. They weren't just hooping, they were executing a game plan that was built on adjustments. And that brings it all back to the film room. That's what stands out about Coach Stephanie White. She's a film junkie. She studies the game. She understands that real progress starts in the film sessions. You've got to know your matchups, you've got to study your own flaws, and you've got to build smarter strategies from that. She's doing that already with Aliyah Boston. So again, this isn't shade toward Christie sides. I got respect for her. I've said it before, second-year coach, passionate, hungry, and I really do wish her the best. I hope she lands somewhere soon, whether it's another head coaching job, assistant gig, or even in the college ranks. Salute to her. But right now, Aliyah Boston sounds excited. She's energized to play for Coach White. And when a player is excited to suit up for their coach, that's when they go hard. That's when the chemistry builds. That's when the team really starts to click. You give 100% for someone who believes in you and shows they're prepared to help you win. So yeah, this is big. Don't overlook this. Something special is brewing in Indiana.
Okay, so you mentioned there's so much talent on this team. There's so much excitement revolving around this. The new additions, the core, you, Caitlin, Kelsey, getting Kelsey back. That's obviously huge for this group. What is it, you kind of were the hunters last year. You were young, you're exciting, and really ended the season on a high note. Do you feel that transition, or is it too early to say that you're maybe the hunted at this point? Is there still a lot to prove with this group? What's the goal going in? What do you want to see, the expectations, everything like that, with all the talent that you keep mentioning?
For us, I think our expectations to win.
Yeah.
That is it, flat out. I think every single time we play, every time we step on the floor, people are going to want to beat the Fever. And I know last year it didn't start off that way for us, but as you said, halfway through the season, that switch was flipped. And it was like you didn't want to see us on your schedule. And I think we're going to take that momentum going in. We have Kelsey, Kaylin, and I, and Lexi and Dee Dee that's all coming back. And it's like, listen, we know exactly what it felt like to be in that position where we didn't start off good, but then that switch flipped, and now it's like, okay, no one wants to see us. And I think now looking at who we have on the schedule, it's kind of going to be the same thing where everyone's going to come out and know that it's not just going to be a cakewalk. It's not just going to be anything where they just don't have to prepare in a sense, but it's going to be like, okay, we know they have killers from every angle, and so how do we stop that?
Right. Okay.
You heard it straight from Aliyah Boston. Nobody wants to see us.
And she meant that.
She said it loud and clear. We're bringing our quarterback. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aliyah Boston, Damaris Stantas, Lexi Hall.
And now,
we done added even more heat. Last year y'all looked at the Indiana Fever like, that's an 11-win team. We'll run right through them. You had teams saying, oh, they got Caitlin Clark? Let's just press her, bully her, knock her around, and the rest'll fold. But guess what? Not this year. This year, that underdog mindset is gone. This time, we're the hunters and the hunted. That's the shift. This year, it's 11-0 energy. That's the mentality. Not 0-11. Not let's go have a good season.
nah.
If we lose a game this year, something's wrong. That's the bar. That's the expectation. Because this squad isn't coming to play around. We're coming to dominate. 44 games? We're locked in on every single one. Doesn't matter who's in front of us. Aces, Liberty, Storm, Lynx, it don't matter. Y'all were the big dogs last year. But this year, we're the big dogs now. When you see the Indiana Fever on your schedule, you better treat it like a playoff game. And trust me, every other team will. They're going to bring their A-game every night because the lights are brighter now. The Fever aren't just that young team. They're the main event now. National TV, packed arenas, energy through the roof. And all that pressure, it's only going to make the Fever better. Same way it did after the break last season. Everyone tried to bully Caitlin Clark, and what happened? She got stronger. She got smarter. The team clicked, and they started handing out L's. You gotta go through the fire to become great. Sometimes you need your ass hooped a few times to realize how to fight back. That's what happened. They took the hits, they learned from M, and now they're coming back swinging. This season, the chemistry is already built. No more adjusting to each other. Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, Aliyah Boston, they already locked in. Now throw in DB, a vet who's been about that life. Sophie Cunningham, she's battle-tested. Natasha Cloud, leadership. Sydney Colson, experience. Damaris Stantas, toughness. Ain't no one on this squad that needs time to get adjusted. And shout out to the rookies too. Welcome to the jungle, but just know, this team is already rolling. Ain't gonna be no slow start, no finding our rhythm. The rhythm's been found. This team is coming out swinging from day one. And we finally got a vet coach in Stephanie White. No disrespect to the last regime, but this is different. There will be in-game adjustments. No more sitting back while things fall apart. If something ain't working, boom, someone's getting benched. Doesn't matter if it's Caitlin or Kelsey. Ain't no favoritism. This is a championship mindset now. And if you know me, you know I'm the first to call out Caitlin when it's needed. And I'm also the first to hype her up when she delivers. So trust me when I say, I'm excited. This ain't last year's Fever. This is a whole different animal. Let's get it. If you're excited about the Fever in 2025, comment the word champion down below.
Okay, so year 3 for you, and you mentioned it feels like, I don't know which it feels like. You've been in the league for a while, or it's still only just 3 years, right? You've been a star. You've really had success in your young career. Where have you seen the most growth going into year 3? Do the off seasons get more valuable as you go forward in your career? Like on and off the court, where have you experienced the most growth headed into the season?
I definitely think mentally, I've experienced most growth being able to play unrivaled. I think it's just boosted my confidence a little bit, not really second guessing myself on shots that I know I can make, and just being confident and knowing like it's okay if you miss one, you can still take the next one with the same level of confidence. And so that's kind of my mindset going into the season, is just continue to be confident and trust my game because of the work and effort that I put into it.
All right, so 2-time All-Star for you, Rookie of the Year. You have the accolades, and this year, the All-Star Game is here in Indianapolis, which is very exciting for everybody here in this state. And I remember last year going to Phoenix, I was going into it with high expectations because of the momentum of women's sports, primarily the WNBA, but it exceeded them. The competitive level, just the overall experience of that Phoenix, but now it's going to be here. How excited are you that it's going to be here? And I have no problem saying there's probably going to be a few Fever players involved in that. But just with the momentum of not only the WNBA at large, but the All-Star Game, I feel like so many eyes were on it last season.
I think it's going to be, the energy is going to be so much higher because it's an Indy. I feel like I say this every time about the fans that support women's basketball, that support sports in general, the attention that the Fever has been getting. I think no one wants to pass up a chance to see all the best athletes playing against each other in the same place. Sometimes it's hard for other people to be able to travel and catch other games of their favorite players, but to have it right here in your backyard, I think it's going to be truly amazing.
All right, last thing I have for it, I've mentioned it a couple times, but the momentum of women's sports, it's hard to ignore, and it's awesome to see, and it feels like it really made a jump last season. How excited are you for the Fever, just this season and as far as your team is concerned, but just to carry that momentum forward as people continue to realize how high level women's basketball is, women's sports are, and just the excitement around this season and the WNBA in general.
Yeah, we're going to ride the momentum. We're going to ride the wave. I think there's no way you don't. There's so much eyes, there's so much energy, there's so much attention. It's like every time you step on that floor, you want to play your best because there's so many people watching. And it's not just for you. It's for the little kids that continue to dream of being where you are and be like, oh my gosh, they're my favorite players. And the fans that continue to watch, it's like you want to continue to show them, like, listen, we come out here, we compete not just for ourselves, but for you guys because you guys pour so much attention, so much love on this Fever squad, and so we just have to be ready to compete every single night.
I love it.
And that's where we'll wrap up the interview. Shout out to Aliyah Boston. I'm genuinely excited for her season ahead. She's looking in phenomenal shape, and let's not forget, she's already a two-time All-Star and was Rookie of the Year her first season. Her accolades speak for themselves. But more than the individual awards, this is a huge moment for the Indiana Fever as a franchise. The fan base is energized, momentum is building, and with the All-Star Game coming to town, the spotlight is on us. The roster's been revamped, the front office is all in, and the new facility is top-notch. Now, it's about showing up and performing, exactly what Aliyah Boston has been talking about. I truly believe the Fever are going to deliver this year, not just with results, but with the kind of exciting, up-tempo basketball that drew so many of us in last season. Think back to those viral highlights. Caitlin Clark's full-court dime to Kelsey Mitchell, Mitchell's behind-the-back to Nalissa Smith for the reverse, and those moments when Lexi Hull and the rest of the squad just lit up Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It was electric. The energy, the chemistry, the fun, they made every game must-watch, and that's what makes this team so special. With the Fever's upgraded roster, bringing in veterans like DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard, and keeping that young core of Clark, Boston, and Mitchell, expect even more fireworks this season. This isn't just about winning, it's about playing with joy, playing as a unit, and putting on a show for fans everywhere. That's what national TV games are made for, and that's why the confidence in this locker room should be sky high. So, I'm excited, not just for Aaliyah, but for every Fever fan. Training camp is around the corner, and I can't wait to see how these new lineups gel, how the chemistry builds, and what kind of highlights we'll get next. I want to see those 5-on-5 runs, the whole squad together, and just the pure fun of basketball at its best. That's all I've got for today. Let me know what you think about the Fever's 2025 season in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for daily updates. I'll catch you in the next video.